I think first we should thank Sir for giving us the opportunity to present here rather than going for the lazy GS PPT. You have all saved, at least you should thank Sir for this thing. So, as we all know, today we are going to present on the topic, the complete woman. I think I should first introduce my group. We have with us Shashank, Shruti, Ankur, Soumya, and Mayur. So, before going into it, I just want you to answer me. What is your definition of a complete woman? What are the qualities of a complete woman? That's what I'm asking you. What is your perspective? What will you perceive as a complete woman? I know. That's what I'm going to say. There's a very famous quote that every woman, it's complete. It just takes the right perspective to see it. Because the thing is, it's all about the perspective. You might say a woman is complete if she is independent, and she is into the corporate world. But I don't think so. It's all about the perspective. Now, I will take you back to the Egyptian society. You might be thinking why I'm taking you back so long back to 353 BC. It's so long, but I will tell you one thing. This is the only society where women were actually treated at par or maybe more than men. No society existed in between which actually given so more importance to them. Why I'm telling you so? Because the thing was, this was the society where the women were given the right to become the queen. They were treated equal. They were given the economic rights. They had the right to use land, own land, sell land. Apart from that, what else? They had the quality of all those things which don't exist in a present society. So from that particular society, we come to right now, the Indian society. There has been a long gap in between. But what is this? Why is it so? Is it so that no complete women existed in between? It's not so. It's just that it's all about the perspective. Some perceived women as complete because of these certain qualities. She's passionate, strong, confident, determined. Is this the definition of a complete woman? I don't think so. If you see into the present scenario, most of the women are participating in the corporate life. They are increasing, they are reaching a new ladder. They are reaching new heights. Does that mean she is a complete woman? You can't say it. It's all about the perspective. Now I will call upon Shruti. She will more elaborate on this thing.
Thank you, Aman. Okay, so the last group talked about labeling that's been done on women. I'm here to say how the labeling all began. So when a child is born into our world, because of the physical traits that it possesses, it can be classified, the sex of the baby is determined. It can be either a male or female. But gender is much more complicated than that. Gender happens when the baby is exposed to its environment, and these factors lead the baby to form the gender. This can be explained by the gender schema theory. The gender schema theory states that the sex traits that a person forms is because of a lot of factors that influence. Some of them can be, so if you consider a baby, in the environment there are a lot of factors that actually lead to the formation of a gender. So let's talk about some of the characteristics that we can find on a baby's environment. It starts with the color, the clothing, the child books that it are exposed to, the toys, the games, the people that the baby sees every day, the movies, the cartoons, everything. So taking an example of the books, just go back and revisit that childhood story you have heard when you were a little child, especially the girls. I think most of you can relate to fairy tales. So what can you find in a fairy tale? There is a very charming, pretty little woman and who needs saving. And then comes a Prince Charming who saves her, and then they live happily ever after in that castle. So when a child is exposed to such a story, the idea of beauty, wealth, companionship, all is encompassed in it. When I did a Google search on girls' toys, this is what I could find. It's all pink, it's all about grooming, it's all about housekeeping, everything. So you can say that when a girl child actually grows up, when she is actually exposed to these things, her gender identity is formed likewise. And then there's this obsession between the association of women and pink and man and blue. So we can see that all these norms, all the social norms, condition has a very big impact on the gender, how a baby forms its own gender. This makes me ask a very interesting question. The women that we have currently in our society, are they what they want to be, or are they what society wanted them to be? I would like to take you through some of the examples that I could find when I did my research of some of the horrible examples of what all women did to fit into the social norms. So this is the Chinese food binding. So in China, when a girl child is born, her toes are tightly tied so as to curtail the growth of the feet, because small feet is attractive, it's a beauty symbol. So when the child goes through it, it is kept covered, and it's called the lotus feet. I don't think it's anything pretty. But this used to be followed for a long time because it was a beauty standard, and it was a symbol of status. And another example, the next example I would like to speak about is female genital mutilation. This is also one of the very good example of how much the social norms and women try to live up to it. So female genital mutilation, as you must be aware of, is trimming your genitalia to suit the societal norms. It actually gives you a certain power, as in it actually signifies this, society's control to society's desire to control your sexuality, women's sexuality. And the third example is that the Barbie dolls. When you present your niece or any child near you with a Barbie doll, or any sorts of dolls that we have right now, you're basically introducing them to the beauty standards. So this can lead to horrible practices like anorexia. Eating habits can lead to horrible conditions like anorexia, bulimia, etc. With this note, I would like to take my leave and pass the mic to Shashank.
Thank you, Shruti. Good evening, everyone. Before I talk further, I would like you to watch a short video.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do. And just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Throw like a girl. Aww. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
Okay, so as we saw in this video, how due to social conditioning, we actually establish a perception of ourselves and of others. Before talking about it in detail, first we should understand what actually social conditioning means. So, going by the definition, it is a process of training an individual to respond in a manner generally approved by the society and which adheres to the accepted norms. As we saw in the video, when the team asked the male and the adult women, then what is it like to run like a girl, or fight like a girl, or throw something like a girl, they actually acted in a very stereotypical way. And at the very same time, when they asked the same question to the little young girls, they acted very naturally. So this shows that once, as they grow up, social conditioning is imposed onto them and they start thinking in a different way. Now, we'll see how this social conditioning actually works. I like to explain it through an experiment, which I guess you all might be aware of it. It is basically done by one professor of Stanford University. His name is Philip Zimbardo. And what he did in that experiment was that he hired a group of students from the college, and he established a prison in the basement of the psychological building of the office department. Now, what he expected them to do, he divided them into groups, and he said that some of the students, they were supposed to act like the guards, and some of the students, they were supposed to act like the prisoners. So as the day passed by, as the guards, they were obviously very authoritative, and the prisoners, they also were very submissive. So as the day passed by, they started submitting to the guards. And whatever they were given to eat, or the way they are supposed to behave, they were ordered by the guards, they were actually following it blindly. So you can see within a span of 10 to 15 days, this has actually created an impact on their mind. So within a span of few years, or maybe too many years, things are being imposed on little girls or maybe women, and because of that, the mindset is changing. Now we'll see how, due to this imposition of social thoughts, the women's mindset is changing. So I would like to again explain it with an experiment. In that experiment, an artist and a woman, they both were called, and they were asked to sit beside each other, and they were separated by a curtain in between. The artist had not seen the woman ever. Now the women were asked to explain her facial features, how she perceives that she looks. And the time when she was explaining herself, the artist was drawing the picture, this sketch. Now again, the team asked her friends to come and explain how she looks, and again the same thing happened. The artist was drawing the sketch, and at the end, when they compared the two sketches, the picture which was explained by their friends, that was more realistic, and it was more close to the way she actually looked than what she actually explained of herself. So this shows, maybe this happened because how the society perceives someone to be complete or beautiful, she was not able to identify herself with that, and she was thinking less of herself. Now we'll look at some other aspects.
Hi everybody. So I'm here to talk about motherhood, and how in society motherhood is perceived by a lot of people to be something that actually completes a woman. A lot of people, some of my own society and my friends have often asked this question to other women, married women, my own cousin sisters and stuff like, okay, so you're married now, so when are you going to have a kid? You're 35 already, what about having kids? Like, why are you not having kids? They're constantly grilled by these set of questions which are quite frankly intrusive to a certain level. And if there are no answers that are coming out because a person doesn't want to reveal their personal preference or whatever it is, there is a lot of assumptions that are drawn, like saying, okay, maybe they're not financially stable to have a kid, or maybe there's something actually wrong with their health or whatever it is, or maybe their marriage is not stable. All these assumptions start to come. But then the question I'd like to ask here today is, what if it's just a personal choice that, the woman does not necessarily feel the need to have a baby to complete her life, or, does not necessarily associate motherhood with the concept of being womanhood or a complete woman, is what I'm really here to ask. And nobody really talks about the, I wouldn't call it downside. Okay, a lot of people actually talk only about the upside of motherhood, saying it's such a blissful experience and it's going to change your life. Yeah, it does change your life, but then for some people, it changes life like dramatically, in the sense that they go through something called postpartum depression, which is affecting around 15 to 20% of women who give birth every year. Some of the symptoms include, loss of appetite, insomnia, feeling inadequate in terms of caregiving, don't feel bonded to the baby, disconnect, out of range of, control rage and stuff. And okay, so at home, like maybe if you were supposed to give birth to somebody, your mother is going to be like, okay, this is the level of care you have to give, or these are the emotions you're going to feel, or whatever it is. And then when somebody is suffering through a thing like this, she does not connect with it. So the expectations are somewhere else and the reality is somewhere else. This often drives women to suicide, and it's actually a pretty serious issue nobody really takes up. So what I'm trying to say is also that, it's not necessary for motherhood to complete womanhood, in the sense that there are these beautiful, very talented ladies. Change of slide, please. Yeah, like this is Theresa May, that is Jennifer Aniston. Going on to the next slide, this is Sania Mirza, who've achieved a lot in their lives, you know, and there's some people who are also constantly taunted or criticized for the fact that they did not choose to have children. So the real question, again, I'd like to ask here is that you're talking about, you know, redefining societal norms, helping women fit in better or whatever it is. But then if we are standing by these old, outdated constructs saying it is still necessary for a woman to be complete and motherhood is something that's really, really important to achieve that stage of completeness, are we really changing? Thank you.
Hello. As my friend here explained, today all women are trying to become working women. It's expected of them to become a working woman in the modern perspective. Earlier, women were restricted to stay at home, but now they have the freedom. A lot of women are expected by society to become working women. They manage their work, they manage their home, both at the same time. They're expected from their offices to work efficiently. There are issues of maternity leaves where they are not treated equally with other men because men don't need maternity leaves. And there is an issue of paternity leaves. So this creates a discrimination against women. And at home, they are expected to be responsible for childcare and house care. So this creates a pressure on them to work at both times and multitask, which can be equated to a modern Devi. And I would like my next slide to come.
Hello. Yeah. Have a look at the slides, guys. It shows the life of a woman. And speaking about just simply biological terms, if we can say, a girl first is allowed to be born. And then, if I may say so, she's allowed to be born. She lives her freedom during her childhood, attains puberty, goes for job, gets married, gets pregnant, keeps on living with her life along with a family and kids, attains menopause, and then dies. So simply speaking about biological terms, we can say that a life of a woman is complete in biological terms. Born, puberty, pregnancy, menopause, and death. But what happens at the cognitive level? We spoke about Dark Knight in the last presentation. It's just a clipping from it, just a 17 seconds clip.
Why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me.
There is always someone, something, somewhere to complete somebody. And speaking about this, look at her. She's 24-year-old Harnaam Kaur. She's a Sikh from UK. And she's the youngest to have a beard. That's a Guinness Book World Record. Isn't she beautiful? And isn't she complete? Thank you.
Hello, my friend just described the woman on the left. What about the woman on the right? She is Kuchita Vrust. She was born as a male, Tom Newirth, but she chose to turn into a woman. That's her choice. She may be considered lesbian, gay, transgender. I'm nobody to tell. She is the one who defines what she is. She chooses to be a woman, and therefore we believe she is a woman. Any person who recognizes as a woman is a woman. And I asked this question to a lot of people, a lot of women. Some of them said they don't think they are complete, while some did reply in affirmative, and I believe they are the ones who are right. Every person and then every woman is complete. Some of them may be unaware of it, but all women are complete at all times. The other group was correct when they removed the label. We also believe in the same. All women are complete at all times, whatever they may be. Transgender, female, male, short, long. Thank you. Questions, please.